Yeah, thanks for having us. I'm representing Energy Alabama today. If you've met Laurel Esposito, she's out on maternity leave, so she's still going to be your main education contact. But you've got me today, and I'm really happy to be here. And yeah, like Michael said, we have Runergy, we have Little USA Solar. And let's just dive in because we have so much good stuff for you today. And my understanding is that you do get Power School credit for this. If you need the course or section number right here, you can jot that down. Our goals for this session are to increase your awareness of solar organizations in Alabama. We want to increase your access to educational resources for energy education, increase your understanding of the importance of energy education, especially in our state, and that confidence in preparing students for solar and energy career paths, because there are so many good career paths that are opening up. It's such a fast growing area, and I know we all really want our students to have good careers, and solar and renewable energy are good careers. So that's why our focus is on showing what that looks like today. And thank you, Michael, for putting that, or Kyla, for putting that in the chat. Okay, so just some background about Alabama's energy profile. So take a look at these stats and see if anything surprises you. Natural gas, 38%, nuclear, 32%, coal, 19%, hydroelectric, 9%, and biomass is 2%. So that's the energy we produce, and you can see the map. We're all over the state there. We have a lot of fossil fuels. This is sort of left over from when we built a lot of like coal plants and natural gas plants. Do you notice anything missing in our energy mix here in Alabama? You can put it in the chat. It sort of a glaring miss. Thank you, Beth. Yeah, solar is missing. So we really have a lot of potential for solar. It is one of the missing key ingredients in our current mix. It's less than 1% of our state's electricity comes from solar. However, Alabama ranks 13th for the greatest potential for solar. But we're only at 29th in our actual installed capacity. There are 41 solar companies in Alabama, and you're meeting two of them today. And I personally live right down the street from Runergy, and I didn't know they existed until we put this session together. So you may be surprised if you don't necessarily haven't been looking, you may be surprised there might be a company nearby to you. And solar prices have just continued to go down, and I know I think Vince is going to talk about that. But we have so in 2021 we kind of hit that utility scale started to go up, and that was mainly from TVA. So here's Alabama, we're growing in solar, but compared to other states like California, Georgia, North Carolina, and Florida, we're still pretty far behind. And so this graph shows distributed solar versus in utility scale. So you can see in Alabama, we don't have this yellow very much. We mostly have the utility scale, and that is mostly from TVA. So, we have TVA and we have Alabama Power, and TVA has been the one to install some utility scale solar. So, how Alabama Power, on the other hand, has actually imposed an extra fee if people in Alabama Power territory install solar panels. Alabama Power takes a cut of that. And one thing that really restricts us in Alabama is that we lack a net metering policy. I used to live in West Virginia, and I had solar panels on my house there, and it was wonderful. We had net metering. So I had a bi-directional meter on my house. Anything extra I made, I sold to the power company, and I had a $5 energy bill. My bill is not at all $5 now, I can guarantee that. And in Alabama, I couldn't do net metering. I would have to spend additional money on a battery pack to store any extra power I made, because I don't want to have to waste it. I want to use what I've bought, So we just have a lot of solar taxes and laws that we could really adjust to make things easier for people to buy solar and to use it. But right now, Alabama Power earns money from residents installing their own solar panels. So I think we have a lot of power, we have a lot of work to do. And if you want to call the Public Service Commission, that is a great way to get involved and express your opinion. Alabama also has some of low energy efficiency. We have very high energy use because we have like hot summers and it's cold enough in the winter that we also need the heat. So we have a ton of energy needs, but we're one of the most inefficient states in terms of keeping costs down. And this, this hurts everybody, right? So we have the fourth highest energy bills in the whole nation. And I feel it. I bet you feel it. I really feel it. And in fact, actually over 40% of Alabama households have had to skip meals or go over or skip necessities just to pay their energy bills. However, job opportunities are growing for places like solar and other clean energy jobs. The Inflation Reduction Act is one of the most amazing policies we have right now in our tool belt. It gives tax credits for solar installation. I bought an EV with it. And it has created over 1,000 new clean energy jobs in our state and has put over $1 billion in investments into clean energy projects in communities of color in our state. So if you want to keep the Inflation Reduction Act, you can call your members of Congress and let them know that you want to keep the Inflation Reduction Act. However, energy-related employers report difficulty in hiring qualified workers. So we're trying to change that. Oops, sorry about that, everybody. I've been clicking a bunch. The computer decided to go a little haywire there. Okay. And now I'll turn it over to Runergy and Vince.
Hello, thank you, Catherine. Thank you for the introduction, and thank you for everyone who's put this on. My name is Vince Byer. I'm the public relations manager here at Runergy, Alabama, and we are a brand new solar module and solar panel assembly facility that's opened up in Huntsville. And so my presentation here today is going to be a combination of a couple of different presentations that I give at schools. And so if you're a science teacher, some of these facts, maybe things that you're familiar with. But so these are just things that I've presented before about solar technology, the industry of solar and solar jobs, and then also about our company itself and what kind of job opportunities we have here in Huntsville. And so maybe we can shed some light onto what Runergy's mission is for a brighter and a cleaner world. So what is energy? So if you are a STEM teacher of any sort, you should know the answer to this. Um, But energy is the capacity to do work or produce change. And so I ask students, can you name examples of types of energy? And how do you use energy? And a lot of times we just think about electricity or anything. And so I get answers of potential energy, kinetic energy, chemical energy, mechanical, thermal energy. All of these things are uh, types of energy that are things that can produce change or do work for us. And we can do all sorts of things with the energy we produce. It cannot be created or destroyed. It has to be one place or the other. And so with the presentation, I have several examples of how we can uh, show energy being transferred from one place to another. Okay, so what is renewable energy? If you'll move forward, Catherine, thank you. So renewable energy is energy from natural sources that's replenished at a higher rate than it's consumed. Basically, it just keeps coming, where we have so much energy that we don't know what to do with. And so examples of this is wind energy. Wind keeps on blowing. I almost got a job working at a wind farm, but I just wasn't a big fan. Okay. All right. So there's some things are hit and miss. I got a thumbs up from Catherine. appreciates that. The kids love it. Um, but so there's wind power, there's geothermal power, hydroelectric power, um, and best of all is solar power. The energy from the sun continues to hit us, and I'll talk about that in just a moment. So I want to also define some terms here. So um, here's another one of my corny jokes. Um, I'll ask this, or maybe I won't ask this, is what is the unit in which we measure energy transfer? Correct. What is the unit which we measure energy transfer? So a watt, what is it? So I'll use these terms watt hours or watts per hour kind of interchangeably, and that's how we track how much power a device uses over amount of time. A kilowatt hour is a unit of measurement for the amount of electricity a device uses over a period of time. It's calculated by uh, the power of a device in kilowatts and the amount of time it's used in hours. So an example would be an older style incandescent light would is a 100-watt light bulb, and if it's used for 10 hours, that would use 1 kilowatt. So just multiply that by 10. So your power utility company, you're probably going to be billed between 11 to 14 cents, depending on where you live in Alabama, 11 to 14 cents per kilowatt hour, and the demand of power. So also we'll use these terms of kilo, mega, gigawatt, depending on the scale of the energy that we're talking about. So usually power producing utilities, they'll talk about megawatts or gigawatts for a power plant or a solar farm, and that were the demand of power for a city or a particular region. So your personal household uses about 30 watt hours per day or about 10 or 11 kilowatts per year. So to kind of get those numbers in mind, because it's kind of a difficult concept to really wrap your mind around. So we'll move on. So why solar power? Well, it's abundant. Uh, on 173,000 terawatts strike the Earth continuously. We have a nuclear fusion reactor in the sky above us, radiating heat and photons at the Earth constantly at all times. And so I like to draw out all those zeros so you can see how much power hit the Earth at all times. Obviously, we can't cover the entire Earth in solar panels, but that amount of energy is like having 173 trillion microwaves all cooking hot dogs for 1 minute. That's a lot of hot dogs, and you probably have a lot more problems if we had a whole bunch of microwaves cooking hot dogs. But to kind of get that scale, we're talking a lot of hot dogs. So um, that number is just beyond comprehension. And that's the sun sends that power to us all the time. And so, and with materials and processes to produce solar panels, it's getting less expensive all the time. We've got scientists and engineers designing more efficient types of solar panels. It's getting increasingly more cost effective. It's getting cheaper and it's getting better. And so it's also low footprint. So with solar, or let me say a power plant can only do one thing. It produces power. But a solar module can be used for multi-use deployment. So that is example of you might see a car park with solar modules up ahead. You can put it on a roof to provide shade. We've seen things like agrivoltaics in different areas. You can use solar modules for. I've even seen it as fencing. So if you align it vertically, you can actually use solar modules as fencing. And so multi-use deployment. So furthermore, we can see how does solar power work? If you'll move on, there you go. So I'm not an engineer. I understand some of these words, but basically it's the photovoltaic effect. It occurs in solar cells, and these cells are composed of two different types of semiconductors. You have a p-type and an n-type, and they have a p-n junction. And so that's a positive type and a negative type. And so I actually have a solar cell from our factory floor right here. I don't know if you can tell on my video. So this is a very, very thin. This is one of the solar cells that we have. It's very fragile. It's actually already started to break here, but very, very fragile and very thin. And that's made of our solar panels are made with silicon. And so when you join the silicon semiconductors together, it creates an electric field. So when the photon strikes it, it induces a current, and we can use that current to produce electricity. And so that's a technology that's continuously evolving. It's getting better. It's getting cheaper all the time. So we'll move on. So a lot of solar facts. If you want a screenshot, just keep on clicking here, Catherine. So right now, as of last year, it's a $63.6 billion industry in the U.S. The price of solar has declined by 37% over the past 10 years, and it's getting even cheaper. I think they've updated that number just last month. I'm not sure of the stat, but so the reduction of carbon emissions has equated to almost 4 billion trees being planted. And most importantly, and what we're here to talk about today is that there's almost 300,000 new solar jobs that have been made in recent years of people employed in the solar industry, whether that's manufacturing, construction, engineering, science, in research, just here recently. And it is the aim of the solar industry to have 30% of all electricity produced in the U.S. be made by solar. And so we are on track to meet that goal by 2030. So I'll also talk about different solar energy jobs. Some of these you might be familiar with. Runergy, we are a manufacturer, and so we have very industrial, hands-on work that we do here. But you can see the different types of jobs that are available in the solar industry. And there's things that are kind of tangential to solar, such as construction, and electricians and roofers who may have contact with the solar industry, but they're included in the solar industry. And so if you want to take a screenshot of that, show your students that there are jobs in this industry. And so if you are interested in STEM, solar is a valid career path. And so I'll segue into the next portion, which is about Runergy itself. So we'll do our video about Runergy's manufacturing process.
Where is the boundary of manufacturing? What is the purpose of technology? Leading, driving, the integration of machinery and art, the combination of innovation and quality, automation, dedication, perfection. We make countless attempts to open a new era. We gather every beam of light to build a brighter future. With light, with innovation, with smart manufacturing. With technology, we change the world. With photovoltaic, we protect the Earth.
Very good. That's our commercial. And so
Where is
yeah, there we go. This is a picture of Stephanie. She's in our quality team here at Runergy. But if you're ever interested in seeing some of those machines in action, we have an incredible amount of automation, robotics, pneumatics, PLC learning that we do here. If you're ever interested in taking a tour of the facility, you can reach me on my contact information at the end of this seminar. Runergy, Alabama, we are located in Huntsville, and we are dedicated to harnessing the power of the sun to light up America's future. And that kind of encapsulates what we're all about. And so you go to the next one, Catherine. So our facility is a 1.3 million square foot solar module assembly facility in Huntsville. And I believe we've recently been surpassed as the largest solar facility in the U.S. However, we at one point were the largest one in the U.S. But that means that the solar industry is growing. So competition is good. We aim to have a 5 gigawatt output of our solar modules by the end of this year. Right now we're at 2 gigawatts, and so we are excited about the further expansion and the addition of more jobs to the citizens of Alabama. And so that 5 gigawatt figure is roughly the power to supply 1/3 of the power needs of Alabama for 1 year. So that's the amount of electricity, the power that we're able to produce. It's roughly around 900 homes that we can power each day in number of modules. So we'll move on. So this is a picture of the black rectangles that come spitting out of our factory every day. So each one of our modules is about 550 to 580, 590 watts each. And so at Huntsville, we produce utility scale product for solar projects. We are a very diverse workforce. You'll find a culture of appreciation and challenge and collaboration at Runergy. We're an equal opportunity employer, and we're committed to a diverse and inclusive workforce. And so we welcome anybody from any background. This is a picture of our first module that came off our line back in October. We had everybody on the production team sign it. We celebrate all of our achievements. We can feel good about what we produce here at Runergy because it improves society's quality of life and part of a grander plan to preserve our planet. And so the types of jobs you can get here, we have assembly line workers, you have quality and testing engineers, maintenance technicians, office administration, warehouse specialists, material handlers, and so much more. There's people I didn't know what they did until I saw them walking around. We're an assembly plant. We have all kinds of fields and careers that are needed to make this place run smoothly. We've got basic, we have a quality job. We believe that our workforce deserves a healthy, secure, and financially stable job for our collective success. And so you can see our benefits here. If you have students that are interested in joining us, I'll leave that information in just a moment. People ask, what does it take to be here, to work here? So teamwork is very crucial for what we do. These are the skills that teachers can reinforce in their students is active listening, follow directions, attention to detail, and just being on time is half the battle right there. Just having a good attitude, to a positive outlook, boosts morale and teamwork among everybody. And so and why those skills matter is we have a very safe environment, safety first, quality production, and it produces a strong team spirit in all that we do. So if you're interested about how to get your students involved, or you yourself want to work here, you can scan that QR code and go to runergyusa.com/careers. give you time to scan that. I don't want to eat up too much of anybody else's time here. And so we're engaged in our community as well. We're involved at the FAME USA program with Drake State and Calhoun Community College right now. And so we're looking for talented advanced machine technicians, um, manufacturing technicians, sorry. And so if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'm very glad to be here, and I welcome the opportunity to meet each and every one of you.
So I do have a question. I don't know if I should wait till the end or not, because someone else may answer it. And thank you so much. I had not, and I pronounced it wrong. I did not read Runergy.
I get
Okay.
it all the time. It's okay.
Yeah, it's a trick. You know, your eyes see what you want to see. But and it's just amazing. I am continuously amazed at what all we do in Alabama around science and workforce related to STEM. So this is just amazing to hear. But I do want to know, you're talking about the solar panels that you made. I want solar panels on my house and I've never had them. But I was thinking I may want skylights, the sky tubes or whatever they're called. What's the difference between that and having the solar panels? And
So you can have the skylights. They're kind of a glorified window to the outside that you can use fiber optics to do that. It's very they're very very neat. I'd love to have those in my own home. But your solar modules, they just produce electricity for your home to use, and so that paired with the battery system can provide power to your home or send it back to the grid to actually pay the utility. Um, so that's how Catherine gets her power bill so low.
so, but we can't do that in Alabama yet.
I'd love it for you to be able to do that, and we're working on that.
You're working on it. Okay, I might be too old by the time you get it done. Okay, thank you.
Good question, Michael. And we wanted to just have like 1 or 2 minutes to open up if you wanted to share in the chat. After that Runergy presentation, how do you think you can help students identify their strengths um, to maybe get a job in the solar industry based on what you just learned? Like, what does it take? I think Vince listed some really good ones. Anyone like to share how you can help your students identify their strengths that they could develop toward a solar industry career? Oh, yes. Yep. We will share a copy of these slides afterwards. Don't worry about that. That'll be great.
One of the
Maybe you
things,
could just show them the slides.
yeah, one of the things that stood out to me in working here, I was thinking more of the science and research and development with solar. You don't have to have a 4-year degree in order to work in the solar industry, and so we have all kinds of people and backgrounds here, and so if you want to get in this field, you can absolutely do it.
Yeah, there's like this, we want to break down that perception that you have to have some advanced degree, like you said, like showing up on time and having a good team spirit can go a long way. So I think that's a really important thing to emphasize. Are there other solar companies in South Alabama? I don't know. We can look it up and let you know. Does anybody else, Vince or Kerwin or Jack, do you know if South Alabama has solar companies? We'll look into it and see what we can figure
We're
out.
starting to see in our own area a few, individuals who are promoting solar and doing installation projects. And we've been doing our best to connect with some of those folks to just expand all of our, collective uh, 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 energy. So anyway, I think it's starting to happen, but it's still, as you say, Alabama, when it comes to solar, is the land of opportunity.
Yeah, we know we have over 40 companies, so probably some of them are located in the south of the state, but we'll look into that. It's a good question, Rebecca.
And the
Oh,
other
next
question, I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead, Jack. That's okay.
the question I would have, and we're going to, come back to it later on, is how many agrivoltaic installations are there in Alabama? And we had a hard time finding them in southern Alabama, but uh, I'm just curious about what kind of progress that's making.
Yeah. Well, this is a perfect opportunity for us to transition to your presentation. Jack and Kerwin are here from Little USA Solar. So how about you guys take it away?
Yeah, I was going to say, Vince, thank you so much for the perfect transition. Because in terms of career training, it's one of the many things that we actually operate in. Yes, so my name is Kerwin Ferret. I am the head of brand and partnership development.
Uh, I'm Jack Podell, Director of Education Programs at Little USA. And go ahead, Kerwin.
Yes, and what we're trying to do is we're trying to change the way that communities and students learn and help implement solar solutions for home and professional benefit as well. Next slide. And at Little USA, we focus on four main things. One, as Vince just mentioned, solar panel upkeep, maintenance, design, as well as maintenance, upkeep, as well as installation. Two, as Catherine mentioned, if you drive an EV in Alabama, you need a place to charge it. We will have an EV charging station right off the interstate. Three, the agrivoltaic farming, which incorporates agriculture as well as some also possible opportunities that revolve around to keep continuously generating that power. And four, most importantly, helping the students K through 12 of the STEM curriculum integration. We're actually going to focus on the last two in particular here today, the agrivoltaics as well as the STEM curriculum integration. So next, you will have a video of one of the installations we did over at South Highlands Middle School down in Alabama. All righty, perfect. So that was our South Highlands Middle School solar panel installation. As we saw at the end of that video, it rolled right into the next slide in
There we
regards to
go.
how we activated. Exactly.
Uh, so the project at South Highlands Middle School was really instigated by the STEM teacher at the school who was also happened to be a farmer part-time and wanted to introduce agrivoltaics to the STEM students and uh, just as part of their developing a community garden wanted to add solar to it. And when Little USA came into the picture, we helped them put together a sustainability club that would basically focus on projects related to environmental sustainability. And our focus, of course, was putting a solar piece on it, as well as doing training that would map to NABCEP certifications, which are North American Board of Certified Energy Professionals. So that's kind of what we did at South Highlands, and we did a demonstration hands-on workshop, again, mapping to NABCEP, that lasted for a week with culminating in the science fair, as you saw in the video. Okay. And okay, so if you want to get more information about what was done at South Highlands Middle School, you can click the link um, at the end of this presentation to the repicture.com website, a portal which focuses on STEM careers. And we have a couple of projects posted within that website. Next. And finally, on this topic, if you want to know more about how we did the Sustainability Club, there's a simple one-page overview of how it works and some of the resources, and including Energy Alabama's school resources, as well as Jack's Solar Garden, which you'll see a little bit more about later when we talk about our next step going forward. And so yeah, you can click the link and download the that one-page overview.
Yes, and another perfect segue, as the other reason we are here is for the agrivoltaic farming section. So what we did at Little USA is we've designated a problem being the access to actual healthy foods, particularly not just in Union Springs, Alabama, but kind of throughout the state. What agrivoltaics is the way to really best optimize and use your farmland, for you can generate both power and generate food. It helps with a couple different crops and mechanisms as well, keeping animals safe and healthy during the summertime. And then the next slide, we had our 2-day SARE sponsored institute. SARE is a Sustainable Agriculture Research and Education. It's a federal fund that is designated for training the trainers. Is that right, Jack?
Yeah, it's from the Department of Agriculture, and one of their funding proposals was a train the trainer grant opportunity. Well, we don't have very many trainers around, so we proposed something different, which was training protocol development with our partners at Tuskegee and Auburn University, and we brought in as well Jack's Solar Garden to help with our workshop, and Byron Koenig, and you're going to see in the video how we did that, basically teaming with local farmers and showing the opportunities for solar in this area, and well, we had fun.
And here's a video that shows that on the next slide. During our SARE-sponsored institute, led by Byron Kolmanek of Jack Solar Garden and Allison Jackson, we looked at 4 main talking points surrounding solar panels and how to best incorporate them on farms. First, Allison and Byron led our group through some tactics surrounding bee farming, such as how to best utilize the shade that's provided with the various solar panels, and how infusing agrivoltaics into their operation can create various microclimates underneath the panels, leading to more pollen and thus more honey. Next, we went to another farm to see some livestock and talked through how including solar panels could be beneficial, this time dealing with larger animals such as sheep and goats. Solar panels provide essential shade and protection during hot summer months, but can also be tempting for goats to be, well, goats. We then broke down one of the most essential parts of putting together a solar panel implementation: strategically aligning the array of panels in a way that can maximize results. With the right placement, you're able to maximize generating energy and assisting in the natural growth of your crops. Lastly, Byron talked about the compatibility of farm equipment with agrivoltaics, ranging from the smallest shovel to the largest tractor, and how to manage both to maximize space and efficiently use your farmland. Be sure to log on to our website at www.littleusa.solar, where you can see our longer recap video, as well as learn how to stay connected and show support. Stay tuned.
I love that
Yeah.
video.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So yeah, that kind of sums up what we do. Part of what we do, about half of it, as our larger mission here at Little USA. If you want to learn more, our website is here, www.littleusa.solar. And since we are sending the slides out as well, that repicture.com links directly to the Sustainability Club information, so you'll be able to learn more about that as well.
And I would just add that, and if you wanted an introduction to what is agrivoltaics, the largest agrivoltaic project in the country is Jack's Solar Garden. And there's a wonderful introductory video, which is very short, but also covers all of the basics of agrivoltaics. And that's at Jack's Solar Garden. .org or .com. It's Jack's Solar Garden. Look it up.
All right.
So
Um,
I have a question right quick. Oh, go
yeah.
ahead, Catherine. I'm not
No,
going to
go
jump
ahead,
in. I see you
Michael.
have. So,
Well, yeah, I mean, you can ask your question. We can have multiple discussions.
yeah, okay. So I noticed that you were at South Highlands Middle School. You were down in Union Springs in Bullock County. It's awesome. What grade levels do you start with Little USA?
Uh, well, we had at Highlands Middle School, obviously it was middle school, and
Right.
we wondered about that because we were looking at sort of solar careers and things, and we were kind of led into this a wonderful way to introduce students to the opportunities and not just solar careers, but how what the benefits are, from using solar with farming and of course our agricultural region, uh, and uh, uh, and also um, I, I think some of the students that were involved also got introduced to what they could do in the future, whether it would be going into higher ed and research or going directly into solar fields, like Vince was talking about. It doesn't require a college education, but there's a lot of research going on in the area. And one of our objectives was to create at our 22-acre site a kind of an extension campus to do research um, with with the universities, but as well as having a place for the local uh, K-12 students to be able to work on projects that are led by graduate students from the universities. Does that kind of cover it?
Yeah, that's amazing. I like that you're starting with them at a younger age because especially middle school, because that's just a great age to get kids engaged. They like to be hands-on, they like to get out there, they need to be doing something. So that is just, I think middle school is a great age to start with them. And as they get older and get into high school, they are already familiar with that path and can choose it. We have a great CTE and workforce pathways in high school. So if they're introduced to this early, then they already have an idea of what that's like and can continue in that pathway if they're interested.
Yeah.
So that's great.
Yeah, and
Exactly.
one other thing I wanted to mention in case there's anybody on, logged in here who has some information, we are trying to get connected to community colleges a little bit more in terms of creating programs with them for, certifications for actual, jobs. So, as we're working to kind of connect with our cohorts here. Anyway, if anybody has any of that kind of information, I am all ears.
Exactly. Yeah. Miss Robinson, what we're trying to do essentially is not just job training, but career training, and offering people and students like an opportunity to say, hey, a 4-year degree is not, to Vince's point earlier as well. There are alternative ways to work and make a really good living, especially kind of the sun's not going anywhere. Fingers crossed, knock on wood. But how do we make it accessible and really a possibility for students that are interested in it and want to get interested in it as well?
That's
Excellent.
great.
Yeah. Would anyone else like to ask a question or respond to Dr. Robinson's question or respond to this question on the screen about how you could use how your community could benefit from solar for agriculture, food deserts, EV charging, education, and training and certification, like we saw with Little USA Solar.
I had a question. Do you collaborate with other schools, and is that through a grant or in providing potentially a solar panel for a school?
That was a great question. We're all ears. We're all open to excuse me, to working with a multitude of schools, multitude of counties. Right now, we're focused in Bullitt counties because that's where we're headquartered, Union Springs. But happy to connect offline and see what we could do at your location.
Okay, because we have a small garden that, thanks to Legacy, I received a grant to put in a small garden, and I would love to chat with you on that.
Perfect. Happy to
Maureen, where are
offline.
you located?
In Alabaster near Birmingham.
Oh, okay.
And let me also add before you go on that and Catherine may know about this as well, through the Gulf Research Program, the National Academies, they just announced a $3 million funding opportunity for workforce development projects to ready participants to become part of the future energy workforce. So that might be a funding opportunity that you all can get into and tie us into as well. So I'm sure Catherine has that information, but if not, I'll be happy to share that with you.
Please do, Ms. Robinson.
Yelling, sit down.
Yes, I also have there's the Y-Laces granting organization has little grants like $1,500 for equipment grants if you need some special equipment for your school. And they specifically have a donor that wants to donate or that wants to fund Alabama-based projects. So I'm putting that in the chat. And then, yes, the Gulf Scholars one, that's much, or Gulf Research Program, that's much bigger dollars for that. And I'm trying to find the exact, there's fellowships and grants. I'll just put the whole link, and there's a lot to explore on that site, the Gulf Scholars.
Yeah, well, I was thinking that Jack, Vince, Kerr, and some of you all might want to apply for that Gulf Research Program grant and tie us into it. Our teachers here and work with them. That would be great if we could find a way to do that.
Yes, yeah, Dr. Robinson, we should talk too, because I know like our Montevallo professor is putting together something for that one as well, or maybe it already did, or UWA also.
Oh, awesome.
Because you shared that with us several months ago, and we've been.
No, this is a new one. This is another one. This is another one.
Oh, there's so many. I can't keep up.
I'll put it in the chat. Let me see if I can find it again.
Okay, great. Yeah. And I love the training, the certification. I did not know what NABCEP was before this, the North American Board of Certified Energy Professionals. I think that's a really great thing it's a concrete, skill set certification that I think would be appealing to many students.
Go ahead. Catherine, there's one other organization so NABCEP is not so appropriate to like career tech ed and high school level because in order to get those certifications, you have to be over 18 years old. However, there's another worldwide organization called ETA, the Electronic Technicians Association, and they do classroom projects as well and have certifications that high school students would be qualified for.
That's really good to know. Thank you for clarifying that. Yeah, it's good to know the age requirements there.
Yeah.
I think I found it online. Is it etai.org? I think I found that. Let's see. Okay, well, yeah, I've been putting a bunch of links in the chat, including a copy of our slides, a list of resources we recommend, and a survey. Please do take our survey, and You can use this QR code in the middle for the survey. The QR code on the left shows our list of resources and that reminder about PD credit. And we can keep chit-chatting, but I just wanted to give you time during the session to fill out the feedback form because that's the kind of thing that allows us to continue to self-reflect and improve on these types of things. Energy Alabama is also hosting a Beyond Solar, like more other alternative energies, and that is April 22nd. So you can reach out to me or anyone at Energy Alabama, and we can get you more information about that. And also, I'll give the final slide with our contact info. Like I said, Laurel Holmes is still the main education person at Energy Alabama. I'm filling in for her right now, and we have Daniel Tate, the executive director. But here's all of our emails if you ever want to reach out. We want to talk to you and work with your students.
So I have learned so much today as well, and we really appreciate you all taking time to do this for us.